Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our fourth session for ratio, proportion and variation. Friends, in this session we'll be doing some applications of all these topics, that is ratio, proportion, direct and inverse variation and problem on ages. Okay. Friends, I'm sure you might have revised all the three sessions before attending this particular session, and definitely you are having your paper and pen with you, so you'll be doing the problems along with me. Okay, now let's begin this session. Now let's see this problem. A certain number of chocolates are divided among Ajay, Sujay and Vijay such that Ajay gets 1/5 of what Sujay and Vijay together get, and Sujay gets 1/4 of what Ajay and Vijay together get. If Sujay got 2 chocolates more than Ajay, then how many chocolates did Vijay get? Okay, now here Ajay gets 1/5 of Sujay and Vijay. Okay, so it's Ajay and here Vijay plus Sujay. This is ratio is 1:5. That means Ajay might have got one part out of total 6. This is total is 6 parts. That means Ajay might have got 1/6 of the total. So let's see. Ajay is 1/6 of total. Now Sujay has got 1/4 of what Ajay and Vijay together. Now here Sujay and here Ajay and Vijay. Now Sujay has got of 1/4 of Ajay and Vijay. That means here it is total 5 parts. That means Sujay has got 1/5 of the total. So Sujay has 1/5 of the total. Okay. Now if Sujay got 2 chocolates more than Ajay, then how many chocolates did Vijay get? Okay. Now what is the difference between Ajay and Sujay? It is 2. Okay, so that means 1/5 of t minus 1/6 of t is equal to 2. Okay, let's solve it and get the value of t. It is 6 minus 5, that is 1/30 is equal to 2. That means t is equal to 60. That means total there are 60 chocolates. Okay. Now Ajay got 1/6 of the total. That means Ajay might have got 60 by 6, that is 10. Ajay 10. Sujay might have got 60 by 5, that is 12. So remaining chocolates out of 60, that is 38 chocolates will be taken by Vijay. Okay friends, I hope you are clear. Now let's see this problem. The earnings of A and B are in the ratio 3:7, B and C 4:9, and that of D and C is 7:6. If the sum of the earnings of A, B, C, D together is 52950, then we have to find the earnings of D. Okay, now let's see. A, B and C. A is to B is 3:7 and B is to C is 4:9. So first let's find the ratio of A and B and C. So it's A, B, C. It's 3 into 4, 12. Then 7 into 4, 28. Then 7 into 9, 63. Okay. Here it is D. The ratio between C and D is 6:7. Since it is D is to C is 7:6, that means C is to D will be 6:7. Now let's find the combined ratio of A, B, C and D. Okay, it's 12 into 6, that is 72, is to 28 into 6, that is 14 into 12, that is 168, is to 63 into 6. 6 3s are 18, 6 6 are 36 and 1 378 is to 63 into 7. Okay, now the total of all these is I'm sorry. Nine, then 2 and 6, 8 and 7, 15 plus 4, 19, 5, then 1 and 0. Okay, the total is 1059. Out of this, D share is 441. So 441 by 1059 into 52950, that you have to calculate. Okay, friends. So after solving this, you'll be getting the D's earning, which will be 22050. Okay, friends, this is the routine method, or you can say the manual method. There is a smart way to do this problem. Since we are given the ratio of A and B, B and C, and D and C. So D's earning is actually 7 part. That means D's earning should be multiple of 7. Since there is no options available which are in fraction, that means D's earning should be multiple of 7. So let's see which of the options are multiple of 7. We know the divisibility test of 7. Make sets of 3 digits and get the mutual difference. So it is from 50 we'll be deducting 21, so we'll be getting 29, which is not multiple of 7. So it cannot be the right choice. In this case, we deduct 22 from 50, we'll be getting 28, which is multiple of 7. So it can be the right choice. Let's see the other options. 50 minus 23, 27, which is not multiple of 7, so it cannot be the right choice. Similarly, 50 minus 24, that is 26, which is even not multiple of 7, so even it won't be the right choice. So we are left with the single answer, that is 22050. If we are clear about this concept that D's earning must be multiple of 7, then this sort of working is not at all required. Okay, you'll be able to save precious time in your examinations. Okay, friends, I hope you are clear. Now we see an interesting problem. Three friends, Arvind, Bharat, and Chandu, are about to have their breakfast. Arvind has 7 apples, Bharat has 5 apples, and Chandu has no apples but 12 coins. He offers to pay for some apples. Okay, they agree to share the 12 apples equally among themselves. That means 4 apples each of them. And agree that Chandu would pay 12 coins for his share. Now Bharat suggests that he be paid 5 coins and Arvind be 7 coins. Okay. Now Arvind says that he should get more than 7 coins. How much should Arvind get? Friends, what do you think? Whether Arvind's expectations are genuine or not? Since Chandu is giving 12 coins and Arvind and Bharat has apples in the ratio 7 is to 5, that is 12. So definitely Arvind should get 7 coins and Bharat should get 5 coins. So why Arvind is expecting more? Is he a cheater? Is he a cheater? No. His expectations are genuine. Okay. Now let's see how his expectations are genuine. Friends, everybody is having 4 apples. If everybody is having 4 apples, that means out of 7 apples, Arvind is keeping 4 apples for himself and he is giving 3 apples to Chandu. And Bharat, what he is doing? He is having 5 apples. That means he is keeping 4 apples for himself and he is giving 1 apple to Chandu. Okay, that means they should get the amount in the ratio of their contribution to Chandu. Okay, not on the ratio of apples which they are having. Okay, that means the Chandu is giving them 12 coins. That 12 coins should be distributed into 3:1 manner. Okay, so Arvind should get 3/4 of 12, that is 9 coins, and 3 coins Bharat should get. Okay, I hope you are clear with the concept. Friends, both of them will get the return on the apples given to Chandu, not on the apples which they are having initially. Okay, it's a very simple concept. Now, in this question, a bag has coins in the denominations of 50 paisa, 25 paisa and 20 paisa in the ratio 4 is to 2 is to 1. 50 paisa, 25 paisa and 20 paisa. The ratio is 4 is to 2 is to 1. Okay, friends, in this question we have been given the ratio of number of coins, but the total value is given in the in rupees. Okay, so from this ratio we have to find out the rupee ratio. That means we have to convert this number into rupee. Okay, now 50 paisa is half of rupee. That means if there are 4 coins, we'll be having 4 by 2 in terms of rupee. In this case, we'll be having 2 by 4 since there are 4 coins in 25 paisa, and 20 paisa will be having 5 coins of 20 paisa in 1 rupee. So this was coin ratio and this is value ratio. Okay. Now let's simplify the ratio. It's 2, it's 2. Okay, so here it is 5 2s are 10. It's 20 is to 5 is to 2. Okay, so in all the value is 20 is to 5 is to 2. So out of that we have to find out the number of 25 paisa coins. So from 27 rupees, the contribution of 25 paisa coins is 5 rupees. So from 54 it will be 10 rupees. So in 1 rupee there are 4 coins of 25 paisa. So in 10 rupees there will be 40 coins of 25 paisa. I hope you are clear. Now friends, let's discuss some questions on variations. In this question, if a quarter kilogram of potato cost 60 paisa, then how many paisa will 200 gram cost? Okay. Now we have to understand a concept of variation. Here we have been given two units, kilogram and paisa. Okay. If more quantity of potato we buy, we have to spend more paisa. That means the quantity and the amount are in direct variation. Okay, so let's write over here its quantity and its price. If quantity was 250 grams, the price is 60 paisa. If the quantity is 200 gram, then the price is, we have to find out. Okay, now more quantity, more price, that means these two terms are in direct variation. So we'll be writing like this, 250 by 200, that means we'll be writing in the same direction. 250 by 200 will be equal to 60 by x. If they would have been in inverse variation, we would have written 250 by 200 is equal to x by 60. But since this is a direct variation, we'll be writing like this only. Okay. Now we can solve for x. That means x is equal to 4 into 12, 48 paisa. Okay. Very simple concept. Now let's see this problem. If 11.25 meter of a uniform iron rod weights for 42.75 kilogram, then what will be the weight of 6 meter of the same rod? Okay, now definitely the length and the weight are in direct proportion. If we increase the length, the weight will also be increased. Okay, so let's write over here its length and weight. Now if the length is 11.25, weight is 42.75. If length is 6, then we have to find out the weight. Okay. So since they are in direct proportion, 11.25 over 6 is equal to 42.75 over x. Okay. Just solve and get the value of x. Okay. It will be 22.8 kilogram. I hope you are clear. Now let's see this problem. A man completes 5 by 8 of the job in 10 days. At this rate, how many more days will it take him to finish the job? That means work and days. So he can do 5 by 8 of the work in 10 days. That means the remaining work, that is 3 by 8 work, he'll do in X days. Now friends, more work, more days are required. That means these two terms are in direct variation. Okay. Friends, this concept of direct and indirect variation is learned from our everyday experience. Okay. And this is nothing else but a common sense. There is no specific formula for that these two terms will be in direct variation and these two terms will not be in direct variation. Okay. That is absolutely your experience and common sense. Okay. So definitely if more work is there, we can say more days will be required. So both this term will be in direct variation. Okay. Now let's see. Is 5 by 3 is equal to 10 by x. That means x is equal to 6 days. Okay friends. All else, if you don't want to go for any sort of paperwork, you just can observe over here. If 5 part out of 8, if 5 part is taking 10 days, that means 3 part will be taking 6 days. It is but obvious. Okay. Now let's say this question. 36 men can complete a piece of work in 18 days. In how many days 27 men complete the same work? Here men and days. Now 36 men can complete the work in 18 days. That means 27 workers can complete the same work in X days. Now friends, what is the relationship between men and days? If more men are there, definitely less number of days will be required. So men and days are in inverse variation. Okay. If more men are there, less days will be required. Okay. So if I write men in this order, I have to write days in opposite order. Okay. So it is 36 by 27 is equal to x by 18. Okay. So x is equal to 24 days. Okay. That means 36 men can complete the work in 18 days. That means 27 persons will take 24 days to complete the work. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Now let's see this question. A fort had provision of food for 150 men for 45 days. After 10 days, 25 men left the fort. The number of days for which the remaining food will last. Friends, as of now, we are having food provision for 150 men for 45 days. But these 150 men are having the food for 10 days. That means after 10 days, the food will be there for 35 days only. Okay. So what is the present situation? Men and days. Now we are having the food for 150 men for 35 days. Since for 10 days they have already had their food. Now 25 persons are leaving. That means now we are having 125 persons. Then the food will last for say X days. Now more men are there. The food will last for less number of days. That means men and days over here are in inverse variation. So if we write men in this order, we have to write days in this order. Okay. So it's 150 by 125 is equal to X upon 35. Just simply solve it and get the value of x. So x is equal to 42 days. Okay, I hope you are clear. Let's see the next problem. Now let's see this problem. In a camp, there is a meal for 120 men and or 200 children. If 150 children have taken the meal, how many men will be catered to with the remaining meal? That means 120 men or 200 children. That means these two quantities are equivalent. So men and children. 120 men are equivalent to 200 children. Now since 150 children have already taken the meal, now the meal is sufficient only for 50 children. Okay. Initially the meal was sufficient for 200 children, but 150 children have already taken the meal. Now the remaining meal is sufficient only for 50 children. Now if 120 men are equivalent to 200 children, that means 50 children are equivalent to x men. Okay. Now let's compare. 120 by x is equal to 200 by 50. That means x is equal to 120 by 4, that is 30. That means 50 children are equivalent to 30 men. That means the meal which is now available will be sufficient for 50 children or 30 men. Okay. Let's see this problem. Running at the same constant rate, 6 identical machines can produce a total 270 bottles per minute. At this rate, how many bottles 10 such machine produce in 4 minutes? Friends, here we are playing with 3 variables, that is number of machines, number of bottles and time. Okay, so let's write first of all machine, bottles and time. Now 6 identical machines can produce 270 bottles in 1 minute. At this rate, how many bottles, suppose it is x, 10 such machine can produce in 4 minutes. Now friends, we just have to find the type of variation in this case. Here bottles is an unknown quantity. That means we have to find out the relationship between man and bottle and time. Okay. So whatever the quantity is unknown, we just keep it at the left side. So it is 270 by x will be kept at left side. Okay. It is equal to. Now we have to see whether man and bottle are in same direction or opposite direction. That means they are having direct variation or indirect variation. Now just we have to apply common sense. If we have to produce more bottles, then more men are required. That means these two are in direct variation. So if I write 270 by x in this direction, then I have to write men also in this direction. So it will be 6 by 10. Okay. Now further I have to compare bottles and time, since we are comparing with the unknown quantity. Okay. Now if more bottles are to be produced, more timings will be required. That means even bottles and time are in direct variation. Okay. So if I write 270 by x, I'll be writing time also in this same way. Okay. Now I have to find out the value of x from this equation. It's very easy now. So x is equal to 20 into 90, that is 1800. That means 1800 bottles can be produced by 10 machines in 4 minutes. Very simple problem, friends. Just we have to apply our experience or common sense. Okay. Now let's say this problem. If 3/5 of a cistern is filled in 1 minute, how much more time will be required to fill rest of it? The remaining part is 2/5. Now 3/5, that means third part is to be filled in 60 seconds. That means 3 is 60. We have to find 2. If 3 is 60, 2 will be definitely 40. Okay friends, very simple. You can do this problem without even paperwork. Now let's see this question. If 18 binders bind 900 books in 10 days, how many binders will be required to bind 600 books in 12 days? Further, we have been provided with three variables. First, let's write binders, books, and days. Now, 18 binders can bind 900 books in 10 days. Then how many binders, say X, 660 books in 12 days. Friends, we have already discussed we should put the unknown quantity on left hand side. So it is 18 by X. Now we have to compare the number of binders with books. If more books are there, more binders will be required. That means these two terms are in direct variation. So if I'm writing here 18 by X, I'll be writing here 900 by 660. Okay, into now we have to see the relationship of binders and days. Friends, if more binders are there to bind the books, then less number of days will be required, isn't it? If more workers are there, the work will be finished in less number of days. That means binders and days are having inverse relationship. Okay, so if I write 18 by X over here, I'll be writing days in reverse order, that is 12 by 10. Okay, just calculate the value of X. So we'll be getting X is equal to 660 by 60, that is 11 binders. Okay, friends. Now in this question, 20 men can complete 1/3 of a piece of work in 20 days. That means men, work, and days. We are having three variables. How many more men should be employed to finish the rest of the work in 25 more days? That means 20 men can complete 1/3 of the work in 20 days. Now we are left with 25 days, and the remaining work is 2/3, and we have to employ more men. Now suppose total number of persons is X in this case. Now the unknown quantity is men, so we'll keep 20 by X there in the left side. Now we have to see the relationship between men and work, whether it is direct or inverse. Now definitely if more work is there, more men are required. That means men and work is having direct relationship. So it is 1 by 2. Into we have to see the relationship between men and days. That means if more men are there to do the same work, less number of days are required. That means men and days are having inverse relationship. So if I write 20 by X, here I'll be writing reverse, that is 25 by 20. Now we have to solve it for X. Okay, friends. While solving, after solving, we'll be getting X value as 4 2s are 8, 8 4s are 32. Okay, so total number of men required is 32. We are already having 20, so 12 more men are required. Okay, I hope you are clear with the concept. Now let's see this problem. If 9 examiners, let me write over here, examiners certain number of answer books in days and hours. Okay, if 9 examiners while working for 12 days and 5 hours per day can check certain number of copies, for how many hours a day would 4 examiners have to work in order to examine twice the number of books in 30 days? Okay, so we have to find the number of hours, and work is now double. Okay, now here the variable is hours, so we'll keep hours at left hand side. Now we have to compare hours to the remaining terms. Now if more examiners are there, less hours will be required. Okay, that means examiners and hours, these two terminologies are in inverse variation. Okay, definitely if more persons are there, less time will be taken to complete the assignment. So if it is 5 by x, this will be reverse. So it is 4 by 9. Now, if more days are there, less hours will be required. Definitely, to finish a certain assignment, if more days are available, definitely number of hours will be reduced per day. Okay, so the relationship of days and hours is also inverse. So if it is 5 by x, it will be 30 by 12. Okay. Now, more work is there, more hours are required. Okay. So if it is 5 by x, it will be 1 by 2 in the same order. Now we have to calculate the value of x over here. That means x is equal to 9. That means the examiners should work 9 hours per day to examine these number of copies. Okay, friends?